Yes, guys. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Shivangi. I'm a QX certified education agent based in Aussizz Group, Brisbane. Welcome everybody to the Australian Migration Education Conclave 2023 presented by Aussizz Group. Today we'll be talking about accounting occupations and courses. Guys, please confirm if you can see my screen. Len, can you please confirm if everybody can see my screen? Perfect, thank you. So guys, my contact details are mentioned there on the screen. After this presentation and after the session, if you have any question in regards to this session, please feel free to reach out to me on the contact details provided. I'll just give you a little bit glimpse of how this session would look like. I'll start with talking about the accounting career options and the courses options for you. And then my colleague Alpesh Patel will take over the presentation and talk about the migration and PR pathways. So before starting with the presentation, let me give you an idea about the services provided by Aussizz Group. Apart from the education and migration consultancies, we provide services including PTE tutorials, IELTS tutorials, and CCL tutorials. We also provide assistance with the professional year program in Australia and getting the health covers like OSHCs or BHCs here at good rates. We also have the 𝐤𝐳𝐧 app for you guys, which is a mobile app that helps you explore visa options, straight nomination criteria and eligibility. It estimates the visa fees and keeps you updated with all the Australian skilled occupation related changes. You can download this app through the App Store or Google Play and know more about it. So I'll start with my presentation. Before digging deeper into why you should be choosing accounting as a course and what are the career pathways, you guys should be aware of the importance of accounting in your daily and your business routine. So accounting plays a vital role in running a business. It helps you track income and expenditures. It ensures statutory compliance. It provides investors, management, and government with the quantitative financial information which can then finally be used in making useful business decisions. So basically, you just have a set of data. What accounting does is convert that data into a useful information so that that information can be used to make important business decisions. Accounting helps in keeping a record of day-to-day transactions. So when you do your daily life activities, you need to keep track of them, you know, the transactions that are there. Daily life activities here, I don't mean by personal life, it means your business routine. So you definitely need accounting to keep a track of your transactions and data there. A simple definition for accounting is keeping records of all financial transactions related to an individual or an entity. Now, why accounting is a multi-sector career? Accountancy is a unique function. The skill is essential in every industry, every organization, be it a small or large business, right? So, I mean, every small or large business, be it IT, be it HR, be it healthcare industry, every business need accountants, right? So, accountants have this advantage of working in varied sectors. For example, public service, not-for-profit organizations, financial service, personal and private banking, investments, and pensions. Public practice firms that provide services to a wide range of clients, corporates, and shared services, as mentioned earlier, including finance, HR, IT, healthcare, and everything. So, teams are combined, resulting in cross and upskilling for accountants. The pros of an accounting career, number one and foremost pro is a healthy income. So a graduate from accounting can expect to start at 50,000 Australian dollars per year package, which obviously increases as you lead towards the growth with your corporate exposure, experience, and the skill set which you gain with your work. Second advantage will be on the job learning. So there will be plenty of upskilling opportunities for accountants. The accounting industry champions continuing education because they get this opportunity to work in various sectors. No career ceilings. Scope of working in multiple sectors provide companies or a private practice. So basically, be it a private or a public company, you get to work. You get to get the insights of a business. How is it running? Accountants get to foray into audit, tax, healthcare accounting, or general company accounting. So these are some of the advantages. However, obviously, it's not just limited to these. Now, there are a number of course options when it comes to accounting. Accounting courses come under the Faculty School of Business at various universities, be it undergrad or postgrad. Some options in bachelor's are Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Business with accounting majors, and then there is this dual degree option as well, which is Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Law. Now, not every other course have this dual degree option for you. For masters, we have Master of Professional Accounting, Master of Commerce, and Master of Management with accounting as major. And then there is a specific Master of Accounting. Depending on the course content and the career outcome, obviously you choose your course and provider. Now, the important question, how do you find the right accounting course? There are certain factors which you should be considering when you're making a choice for your course, right? So number one, an important factor is the course must be accredited by the industry's head professional body, which is CPA Australia. Now, not everybody knows that, but the course has to be accredited to be eligible for the skill assessment, and CPA is the authority which assesses your accounting degree. The graduates of accredited program will be able to get an associate level professional membership with CPA, which obviously helps them in industry networking opportunities as well. If you're looking for your post-study work visa advantage on completion of your course, then obviously you have to consider the duration of the course. To be eligible for your PSW, you have to look for the course which is at least 92 weeks of duration. You should choose the course which have work-based learning, internship, capstones, project companies, which can enhance your professionalism and helps you in the professional development. You can look into the institution's ranking, reputation, graduate, and employment outcomes. You can also look into institutions' career service and their partnerships with the industries, and obviously strong alumni networks is a plus. Right now, there are a number of institutions which provide the accounting course, accredited course actually, in both undergrad and postgrad. It's pretty much there in every state and territory. For example, in Queensland, we have CQU, Australian Catholic University, Southern Cross University. In Victoria, we have Charles Sturt University, Swinburne, MIT, La Trobe, and Victoria. In New South Wales, we have TAFE, Western Sydney University, Macquarie University, UTS, and Epic College. In South Australia, we have University of South Australia, Flinders University. Now, the institution list is not just limited to what's there on the screen. Obviously, there are a number of options. This is just some of them. Scholarships are available for the course, and the entry requirements are pretty much simple, just like any other course. You don't have to have a relevant discipline in order to, get into the master's course or bachelor's course. Even if you have done Bachelor of Science, you still can go for Master of Professional Accounting. English requirement, pretty much same, 6 overall for bachelor's and 6.5 overall for master's in 𝐼ELTS or equivalent. However, obviously the requirements, it varies from institution to institution. Some might have little higher requirements, so it's not something which is applicable to all. About other states and territories, we have Northern Territory, Charles Darwin University. Western Australia, we have Murdoch University, University of Western Australia, ECA and Kaplan. In Tasmania, we have University of Tasmania. In ACT, we have ANU and University of Canberra. There are a number of other options as well. So you can reach out to us whenever you want to have the know-how about what more providers can be there. The career outcomes on completion of the course now is not just limited to, but includes the following, which I have mentioned right here. It can be management accountant, financial consultant, business analyst, public practice accountant, senior accountant, financial accountant, general and taxation accountant. So these are some of the career outcomes which can be there. It's not just because some people have this now, it's just, okay, general accountant, but no, it leads you to number of career pathways. Now, the important question that arises, I believe it arises in everybody's mind. Does Australia actually need accountants? Accounting actually, it has been a popular course since number of years. However, I have seen this deviation in the recent times in people's mindset that, okay, Australia no more need accountants. There is a you face difficulties while looking for the jobs in accounting and everything. However, I believe Australia, yes, it does need accountants. Accountants, it's a big yes. As per the survey, Geoff Palmer, the founding director of RLA recruitment firm, explains that Pre-coronavirus, the agency only had one role for a new graduate per month. But now they are recruiting for around 6 graduate accountant roles per month. You can see the difference, guys. Now, CPA Australia point to a huge gap between the declining number of domestic graduates. Not much domestic graduates are, graduating in accounting field. So that is why Australia definitely does need migrants, which, can fill that gap. So ABS forecasts that Australia will require more than 3 lakh accountants by 2026, which is equivalent to almost 10,000 extra accountants a year, which is not a small number. Finally, almost 22,000 accounting professionals are forecast to retire over the 5 years to 2016. So basically, it's a cycle going on. Accountants are getting retired, some accountants are changing the field. Australia is getting new accountants, but it's also missing on some. Right. Talking about the job statistics and market. So as per the national market job statistics about in accounting, um, in 2023, right now, as per the data, we have 198,800 people already employed as an accountant. However, there's a future growth of 9.2%. Now, 9.2% is a huge growth percentage. The weekly earning for the accountant is 1756, which is higher than all jobs median, which is $1,593. As per the survey and the data we have, 3 in 4 workers earn more than $1,347 per week, and the rest earns $2,213 per week. So you can see the median hourly earnings for accountant are $47, which is again more than any other job or any other field. Finally, this is the last thing, the future demand for the next 5 years. As per the National Skills Commission, many professional occupations were found to be forecasted moderate future demand. Some of them included accountant general, management accountant, taxation accountant, internal and external auditor. So basically, guys, accounting, yes, it was there in demand, it is there in demand, and the demand for accountants is never going to diminish. So, guys, if you are interested in accounting, go for it, and it will lead you to great career pathways. And if you're already completed the course, step up and look for your opportunities in the market as Australian businesses still need you. If you have any questions, please feel free to put your questions in the comment section and I'll be answering your queries at the end of this session. I'll finish my part here and my colleague Alpesh will take the presentation further and talk about the migration and PR pathways in accounting. Over to you, Alpesh. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Shivangi. Thank you for this great session and inside information about accounting. I'll be presenting about PR pathway for accounting and would like to start with sharing my screen. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, hello everyone. This is basically for accounting occupation. My name is Alpesh. I'm a registered migration agent based here in Perth. I'll be studying about this session. Before we go ahead over there, just would like to bring to your attention the number of services which we provide as Aussizz Group is PTU tutorial, RTS tutorial, getting your policy, CCL, and the most important one is 𝐜𝐴-search, which will lead to the inside information about PR pathway and if you are eligible for certain states or not, and so on. That application is available on App Store and Google Play as well. So I would request everyone to download it. That will be definitely going to be useful for you. That application is going to give you an information just by putting your occupation. It will tell you what is the skill assessment body, which states you can be sponsored from, and which subclasses you can apply for. Okay, so the most important one is the qualification, which Shivangi has explained about. Now, upon completion of the course, what are your options for permanent residency in Australia? So there are major 5 occupation which leads to permanent residency pathway. Out of those 5, there are 4 occupation which are in medium to long-term strategic skill list, which is accountant as in general, management accountant, taxation accountant, and external auditor. These 4 occupation, if you obtain the skill assessment, positive skill assessment for any of this, There are chances that you will be invited for subclass 189, 190, 491, 482, 494, and 186. Now over here, subclass 482, 494, and 186 are employer-sponsored visa. So you need to be invited or sponsored basically to apply for those subclasses. I'll go a little bit in detail for all of them while we are progressing through this session. The finance manager is, however, in short-term skill occupation list, so they are not able to apply subclass 189 and 186, which is directly permanent residency. For any skill migration, the most important part or the first step which need to be done after completion of the course is skill assessment. Apart from some occupation on subclass 482, which is employer sponsor, they may not need it. But as an accountant, you are required to go through this step. So we'll be discussing about this process in detail, the requirement for that one, and what are the other options as well if you have not completed your course in Australia and you still would like to have your assessment done as an accountant or management accountant over here in Australia. So to start with, there are three skill assessment body, CPA, IPA, and CA. All of them are quite good and straightforward process there as well. The most important requirement is Australian bachelor degree or higher qualification from Australia. The second requirement is there are 7 mandatory units, which will be coming on the next slide. They require to be completed in order to have a positive skill assessment. Along with, you need to have 7 each in IELTS, academic only, or if you prefer to give a PTE exam, then you need to have 65 each. Please note here that IELTS is obviously providing that one retake module. If you are doing it, it is still acceptable by CPA, IPA, and CA for your skill assessment. So for an example, let's say you gave an exam in the writing score, you got only 6.5 instead of 7. Other 3 modules, you got 7. There is a facility with IELTS, they provide one retake. If you give an exam one time, more time basically, and if you get 7 each in writing as well, combination of those 2 IELTS reports are going to be acceptable by CPA, IPA, and CA for your skill assessment. However, for PTE academic, 65 each need to be only in one go. So if you, I mean to say is like you cannot combine two results over there for PTE. However, for IELTS, yes, you can go ahead with one retake. Or you should have professional year completed, which is 44 weeks, basically a course. Whereas out of 44 weeks, 12 weeks is basically a placement, and the remaining 32 weeks would be the theoretical study. So these are the list of mandatory units which are required to be completed in order to have a positive skill assessment from the skill assessment body. This is important to understand that the title of the unit would be different than what you have completed, but that does not matter. The contents of the course need to be matching to what is the skill assessment body is required for. So if I give you an example, accounting system and process, that would be the title same in your course as well, or it should be just the accounting systems. And as part of that unit, if you have completed accounting systems and process, then that is going to be counted as completed unit towards your skill assessment. For general accountant, finance manager, and management accountant, all those units required are listed on your left-hand side. Those are required to be completed. However, to have a positive skill assessment for taxes and accountant, you need to have Australian taxation law completed as part of your study. So anyone who has completed, let's say, bachelor degree or master degree outside Australia and would like to apply for skill assessment in Australia as an accountant or management accountant, the chances are good that you will go through all the units required listed on your left-hand side. However, the one which is listed in the middle, taxes and accountant, there are higher chances that you will not get positive skill assessment, and at least Australian taxation law will be mandatory but not completed on your skill assessment. So that means you will be receiving a negative skill assessment. It's same for the external auditor as well. Giving further on this management accountant and general accountant, let's say there is an applicant from India and has completed Bachelor of Accounting and Master of Accounting as well. Just to give you an example, like from the real scenario, from Gujarat University, if someone has completed Bachelor of Accounting and Master of Accounting, there are 99% chances that all these units required for management accountant and general accountant will be completed. So they can obtain a positive skill assessment before even they complete the course over here in Australia. Moreover to this one over here, if you are doing, for example, Bachelor of Business Administration with major in management, or Master of Business Administration, major in management or accounting, over there as well, it's worth to apply for the skill assessment. The skill assessment body will come back to you if there is any outstanding unit which you still need to complete in order to have a full skill assessment, and then you reapply once that unit is completed. CPA does provide this outstanding unit, or you can do those units outside as well from like Holmes University or any other university where you have completed your course in order to have those all units completed for the positive skill assessment. So if you're doing Bachelor of Business Administration or Master of Business Administration, it's not to be disappointed. You still have an option to have your skill assessment done as a management accountant. You may just need to do some units in order to have full skill assessment. Okay, just brief information on this major subclass, which are very popular as a skill migration. Subclass 189, which is independent permanent residency. Federal government sent an invitation for that. Subclass 190 and 491 through the state sponsorship. Subclass 190 is permanent residency. However, subclass 491 is provisional permanent residency that comes with the condition that you need to stay in designated regional area and you need to provide at least 3 notice of assessment. The income does not matter there. If it's even $0 income for the financial year, that is still acceptable. You will be eligible after 3 years to apply for subclass 191, which is permanent residency. These 3 subclasses are going to be applicable for all those occupations which was mentioned on the first slide, which are this one: accountant, management accountant, taxation accountant, and external auditor. As I said earlier, that finance manager will not be able to apply for subclass 189. For all of them, you need to have at least 65 points. For subclass 189, you need to have independently. For subclass 190, if you have 60 points, state will be giving you 5 points. That's how you are going to make your 65 points, and you can submit your expression of interest form. For subclass 491, as long as you have 50 points of your own, you will be able to score 65 points, and you can submit an expression of interest form for subclass 491. The most important part is full skill assessment. For all of those 3 subclasses, you need to have at least 6 in each IELTS or 50 each in PTE, or relevant in TOEFL, CAE, and OET exam. Now, I want to mention over here about the planning level for the upcoming financial year, which is 2023 to 2024, starting from 1st of July 2023. The comparison in between the current financial year and the next financial year is something like this. At the moment, the skill migration places were 132,100 for this skill independent visa, state and territory nominated visa, regional visas, and employer sponsored visas altogether, which is going to be 129,900 for the next financial year. So it's not really dramatically reduced. It's still really good for the next financial year. The reason why this comparison over here is important to know is basically, if I talk about state nomination invitation for WA in December 2022, accountants, especially management accountants, were invited at 65 points. That means they were scoring only 60 points on their own. So if you are hearing that accounting occupation is going to be so difficult and so on, probably not necessary for the next financial year. Before I go for Western Australia state nomination requirements and so on, I would like to make you all aware that the new changes coming for subclass 485, the detailed information is going to be provided on following conclaves. However, just to give you a bit of information about accounting. So the department did publish initial qualification list where accounting was not there. That means to say is that when you complete your bachelor degree or master degree, you will be not granted 2 years extra on your subclass 485, which is graduate work visa. Whereas if the occupation was related to information technology, engineering, health occupation, or teaching occupation, your occupation or the qualification is there. That means they will be granted 2 years extra. Whereas accounting is still going to be granted as per normal. For Western Australia state nomination, there are two streams, general stream schedule 2. General stream schedule 1 is related to medical occupation and graduate stream. Under general stream, we have general accountant, taxation accountant, and management accountant. General stream schedule 2, that means the person or the applicant who has not completed 2 years qualification in Western Australia. So for general stream, if you are invited under subclass 190, you need to present 6 months full-time employment contract in Western Australia. When they say full-time, that means 35 hours per week. Not necessary that should be only from one employer. You can combine 2 separate contracts to make that 35 hours per week. It is absolutely acceptable. The occupation where you're going to present the contract for must be related to nominated occupation or the nominated occupation itself. So for an example, if you are invited under management accountant, and if you have the job offer letter as an accountant from a company like they're selling and buying motor vehicles, and they are hiring the motor vehicle as well, as an accountant, that is still acceptable. Or if you're recruited as a management accountant, then also it is acceptable. Subclass 491 does not require job offer letter at this stage for WA state nomination. Sorry guys, I'm going just for WA at the moment because all other states are obviously going to be in different conclaves, specifically for WA, NSW, Victoria, Queensland, Tasmania, and so on, where you will find detailed information about every state nomination requirement. For graduate stream, obviously, they do not need any job offer letter for subclass 190 and subclass 491 or either of them. As long as they have completed 2 years qualification, they fall under graduate stream. That 2 years qualification does not need to be a particular course. It can be a combination of 2 courses or 3 courses as well. If you are learning English for an academic purpose, that also counts towards your 2 years qualification. WA state has some priority that who they are going to be inviting. The people who are residing in WA will be their first priority. The people who are living in Australia but not in Western Australia, like for example NSW or Victoria, they will be their second priority, and the last option is the offshore applicant. They have a ranking priority as well for the graduate work stream. The first 3 points are only when you have higher score and EY submission date. If you have completed your PhD or master degree, you are going to be on the top priority with higher EY point score. The second priority would be bachelor degree or honor degree. And the last one is going to be the remaining occupation. Some generally getting asked questions is like, the first one is, for example, can I submit expression of interest form as soon as I complete the study? This is not related to an accounting only, but in general for WA, wherever there is a specification for accounting only, I will be very specific over there. So the first question is, can I submit the expression of interest form as soon as I complete the study? To submit an expression of interest form, you need to have at least 65 points and a positive skill assessment. So for the permanent residency pathway or provisional permanent residency pathway in Australia is something like this. You complete your qualification whether in Australia or outside Australia, does not matter. Second stage is have a positive skill assessment in your occupation. The third one is submit an expression of interest form. The fourth one is you need to wait for the invitation from the state or from the federal government directly. Once the invitation is received, if it is for surplus 190 or 491 through state, you need to make a state nomination application. Once that state nomination application is approved, then you apply for the visa application. If I talk about expression of interest form over here in this instance, this is also important to understand that if you have a qualification overseas in engineering field and you are doing over here Master of Business Administration, you may not need to wait for your Master of Business Administration to be completed. Before that, you should apply for your skill assessment in your nominated occupation. The higher chances are there that you may get positive skill assessment, and then on base of that, you submit your expression of interest form while you are studying over here. That is absolutely fine, and you are encouraged to do that one so that you don't basically waste time. In migration industry, the time is so important. As I said earlier, that accountants were invited at 65 points by WA State in the month of December 2022. If I talk a bit of differently, since January 2023, accountants have not been invited at 65 points in WA. So that means to say is that if someone submitted their expression of interest form in November 2022 at 65 points, their application for permanent residency would be already with department at the moment. However, with 70 points, if someone submitted expression of interest form in the month of January 2023, that person or the applicant is basically still waiting for the invitation. So rather than just focusing on study to complete the study and then going for the expression of interest form, you should explore or you should consult a registered migration agent to see if there is any option available for you at this stage before when you complete your course. The next one is I'm subject to section 48 bar. Am I still eligible for state nomination for WA? Yes, you still can apply for that. Section 48 bar will not prevent you having your state nomination approved, whether it's accounting or any other field. What requirements do I need to meet when providing at least 6 months of job offer letter for general stream for subclass 190? The requirement for that is the occupation must be the same or the related to nominated occupation, and that must be at least 35 hours. It has to be a full contract with all terms and conditions. If it's not permanent full-time role, then you should have the job ending date mentioned on the letter as well. The next one is if I get an invitation for subclass 491 nomination first, will I still have chance to get another invitation for subclass 190 nomination in future? For WA, yes, certainly you will have, as long as it is not in the same financial year. So that means to say is if you have received your subclass 491 nomination in this financial year, ending on end of this month, you may get invited for subclass 190 in the next financial year, and that is absolutely fine. You can make a valid application as well at that time, subject to meeting all of the requirements. Next one is how much money do I need to show as settlement cost if I live outside WA? There is no specification mentioned on the government website, so basically you do not need to show any finance. It is required for the student visa application, but not for the state nomination approval for WA. If I get an invitation for nomination, but is unable to process ahead due to some unforeseen reason, and the invitation is lapsed, will the invitation affect my future chances of getting invited for Western Australia? No, it is not making any difference. Department is absolutely fine whether you have accepted or you have just let it go intentionally as well. What are the requirements for employer who can provide an employment contract? This is important to understand that not every employer can give you an employment letter. So if I talk about as an accountant, if there is a restaurant and would like to give you an employment letter and want to recruit you as an accountant for their restaurant only, there are higher chances that it will be refused from their state, because usually the restaurant will hire a firm to do the job and not an accountant itself, it's not viable for the business. So department is going to consider in that sense as well. As I mentioned earlier about other state nomination requirements, it's coming soon in upcoming conclaves. So be tuned for that and make sure you attend them to get more information on them. Other pathways to permanent residency on base of accounting is about subclass 186 direct entry. You need to have 3 years full-time experience for that one, and skill assessment is required for this. For subclass 482, again, you may need skill assessment for this, and you need at least 2 years experience. For subclass 494, at least you need 3 years full-time experience for that. Subclass 494 will lead you to subclass 191, which is permanent residency. Subclass 482 will lead you to 186 TRT, transition stream, for your permanent residency. Looking forward to the question on this session.
Question is accounting PR pathway in next financial year.
Accounting PR pathway is still there in the next financial year. Accounting occupation has not been removed from any occupation list yet. So whatever and however you are performing at the moment, you should continue doing it. However, I would just suggest that you to find a job in your occupation. That certainly will help you in the future whenever there are new changes coming up. But at the moment, there is no change in accounting the next financial year. The chances are that you will be invited as long as you have good score. Specifically for Queensland, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the cutoff of that occupation. So Tina, I would request you to send us an email and we will gather that information and we'll get back to you on it. Again, for Queensland, what I know is you need to have a job in the field for the nomination to be approved. So as I mentioned earlier in the first question, as soon as you are about to finish your study, you should start looking work in your field, which certainly will help one another way to you, to your PR pathway. I would say it's basically Western Australia at this stage, because we have obviously seen many migrants from interstate, and they have been invited as well. So for subclass 491, as clearly mentioned about that 65 points invitation, at 65 point invitation for management accountant in the month of December. Usually the invitation in between July to December are higher, and then after they go slowly down. So this is the perfect time to move if you are really considering for your PR pathway.
Answering those, I believe next. So that is, do you have any scholarship for accounting master studying in Spain and the eligibility? So as I talked about the eligibility in my presentation as well, it is pretty much simple requirements. The English requirements would be IELTS for master 6.5 overall with no band less than 6. About the discipline, you don't have to have specifically accounting or commerce background. It's okay. Even if you have IT, science or whatsoever, you're still eligible for accounting course. Scholarships, yes, there are scholarships available. However, you can get the options in terms of colleges and universities as well. Depending on what's your budget and how much you are interested and willing to spend, we can definitely come up with some better options for you. I believe, yeah, we have other questions here. Alpesh, that's for you. Do we need to have 70K salary as a general accountant?
Thanks for that. This is from Drishti. 70K salary is a requirement for employer sponsor visa. So if you are considering on base of your experience for subclass 482, 494 or 186, yes, you need to have at least 70K salary from 1st of July 2023. If you submit a nomination application before 30th of June 2023, then that is not applicable. So all applications, nomination and visa applications submitted before 30th of June 2023, that threshold is not applicable. 70K from 1st of July 2023 is required, yes. I think I'll take it. I think you're good. mute. Raghav Davda is asking a question that I know it's irrelevant here, but I wanted to know about PR pathway in the field of marketing. If you can help with this. With marketing, from what I know, NSW is the best option. As a marketing manager, NSW was inviting to apply for the nomination directly. You don't need to even wait for the invitation to apply for that. As long as you are having 50 points of your own, state will give you 15 points, that will make 65 points, and you will be able to submit a nomination application for NSW directly. This was open up until 15th of June 2023. Whether the same scenario is going to be in the next financial year or not, that is a bit of difficult to say at this stage, but the chances are there. Is interstate still can get invite for 491 in WA? Naveen, yes. So to answer your question, yes, state is still inviting interstate applicant. However, the reason probably why you're asking this question is basically in the last 2 to 3 invitation round, they did not invite many interstate application just because they did not make any big invitation round itself. Hence, they did not invite, but from July onwards, as per the current requirement and the guideline, yes, they still will be inviting interstate applicant for subclass 491. However, the applicant living in WA will get priority over to you. Okay, that is all. So I hope we have answered your question. The question about Queensland, I'll leave my email address over here. Please send an email to me and I'll gather that information and come back to you. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Thank you, Shivangi, for your wonderful information. I think there is a question. Sure, I'll answer that one. Can you please answer again about scholarship? Sorry, Shivangi, can I leave this with you, please? Shivangi, you are on mute.
About that. Am I audible now, Alpesh? Can you help me with that? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All good. I hope, Alina, you can hear me clearly now. So about the scholarship in Queensland, I mean in Brisbane, I told that we have plenty of options here in terms of college and universities as well. So it depends on your choice if you want to go in college or then the university. We have the scholarships available in either. So depending on your choice, location, we can definitely be able to guide you with that. So guys, I believe it's the, sorry, Alpesh, were you saying something?
No, I was just going to say to Alina that your email address is listed over there. So you can send an email to Shivangi and she'll provide some further information on that as well. She'll be really happy to help you on your query.
Any question in regards to a particular university, please feel free to reach out and I'll tell you all this. I believe now it will be the end of this session. I hope we have covered pretty much all your questions. And in case you have any other question, again, please feel free to reach out. Hope you had a good session and I hope we provide a good enough information to you guys. Have a good day. And
Thank you, everyone.